Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2019 Memorial Championships presented by Discraft. We're here for round number 3, but moving a little closer to Tempe and Scottsdale area. We're heading over. We're going to be at the Vista del Camino course. I'm again joined by Kevin Jones. And Kevin, we missed you in round 2, man, but we've got you for some action here in round 3. You ready to do this?
I'm super excited, Terry. Thanks for having me on again.
So glad to do so. Things changed up yet again this year. Hole 1, we're teeing from back here, and to that tree on the left is about 280 feet. Any less daunting of an opening hole with all this water in OB?
I a little bit less daunting than a fountain for sure, but also a really difficult birdie to get. We've got the elevated basket here, which is going to make putting really difficult. So it's really important to get this close to the basket. But if you're going to get it close to the basket, you have to get close to the water as well.
Well, we've got a great card here as we're watching the lefty Devan Owens going with the forehand. All 4 of you guys 17 under par after the first 2 rounds out at Fountain.
All right. Not a bad shot at all by Devan right there. That's going to be an H1 V2 from myself. Nice flare there, but that's not bad at all inside the circle.
Yeah, not a bad opening shot. This is Ben Callaway from Team Discraft out of Iowa.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Ben play, you've been missing out because he's extremely smooth in both his drives and especially his putts. That was an awesome start for him. He's probably going to be knocking that down.
Someone you know very well, and the whole world knows, of course, Seppo, but you being on Team Prodigy, you've gotten to know him pretty well over the last few years, haven't you?
Oh, yeah, it's your boy, Seppo Paju right here, bringing you inside the circle.
As you mentioned, an elevated basket here on 1. Something to keep in mind. You don't want to go too far past, possibly, and find that water's edge. And Devin making that look easy.
That was a great putt from Dev. Absolutely, the elevated basket can bring in many factors, especially wind, also action off of the basket if you miss, or air balls are going to go farther away as well.
Then not with a full adjustment to that height. Here's Seppo. Like you said, just inside the circle a little bit. That looked tentative.
Yeah, super tentative. It's also the first putt of the round, so sometimes we can find ourselves, just leaving it short.
So if you would have said before this round started, hey, the lefty on the card is going to be the only one to birdie it, I think anyone would have taken that bet saying otherwise, but
probably no.
Solid putt by Devin, and you guys missed opportunity. We move over hole 2 at 369 feet. What's your play?
My play is a sidearm, but I doubt I'm going to be throwing that in 2019. I'm kind of curious. It's very common to just throw a backhand hyzer on this hole, and you kind of have to split those 2 trees on your right there if you really want to get the park job. That looks really good from Devin, and the lefty backhand or anything coming in from the left side really settles nicely into the basket.
I like the angle you have on this. You have to be careful about the skip, but the tree stops it and then still carries it.
Yeah, that tree might have helped me. That thing was going to flare probably.
You would have been at least that far away after a skip, I think is another way to look at it.
Yeah, I think so. This looks much better, though, as long as it doesn't have any crazy flare like that. Yeah, fast green.
Yeah, and we're going to see that as a theme for the first few holes, kind of as they set up for hyzer shots, that the green can speed up the landing area. How do you feel about putts from that distance? Of course, you don't convert there, but how do you feel about putts from that distance generally?
Really good, honestly. Like I'm definitely thinking I'm somewhere in like the 40% range on being able to cash it in, but also, wow, that was really close from Seppo right there. But also, I'm not really gonna go too far past the basket. I think it's almost a guaranteed, at least up and down.
Ben seemed to maybe a little lapse in focus. Here, Devin is closest to the pin. So kind of surprising to see that by Devan.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I see myself, you know, in hindsight, I'm bending my arm more than I really tried to. So that's something that I hopefully tried to correct later in the round. But I really try not to bend my arm that much when I'm putting.
Fair to say, not a stellar start really by the group here. You guys are just a little bit flat coming out of the gates, and a bogey here on the second hole is not something you had in the game plan probably at any point here today.
Oh, that's a really frustrating start.
Gonna move over to hole 3. Is this setup kind of similar? It's 9 feet shorter. Do you feel like it plays the same?
It plays almost the exact same, if you ask me. The only thing is there's not like a ceiling coming in from the right side, so playing a really high spike hyzer is much more playable. But if you have like a lefty backhand like Devan, it's definitely ideal. That's so good.
Yeah, he's not really bringing that apartment complex or those hotels or whatever on the right side. He's not bringing those into play whatsoever, being able to go with the lefty backhand.
Yeah, and he's playing into the slope, which is going to decrease the amount of skip that he gets, which is what usually brings people a long ways from the basket. I bet Seppo's going to go really high right here. X1 in his hand. Yeah, he's saying, I really would not like to skip at all.
I wish I would have thought of that before he threw. You were exactly right. He went pretty much out of frame on me right away. I wasn't expecting that much height. And then yours is more of a medium height to it.
Yeah, that's going to flare. It has to. Not bad, though. I don't know what disc I was throwing. It looks like possibly an X1. Yes, X1. That's a big putt for me right there. Happy to make that, get back to even, and get the confidence on the green back up.
Yeah, good recovery after the bogey on 2. And the rest of the guys are obviously even a little closer. Ben making it look easy.
Smooth putt.
Wow.
Yeah, not much to be said, huh?
Yeah, what do you think? Just a mental lapse, a break in concentration, perhaps?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just a little bit timid, not committing to the putt.
So Devan gets 2 out of the first 3. He pulls to 19 under. This hole came in as averaging 2.82. Correction, 2.56 actually. This came in as the second easiest hole on the course.
Okay, yeah, I could see that. There's not too much danger. Rarely are you going to go OB over that fence. I have no idea what he's doing there.
I know at one point he was debating if he was ready to throw or not, or if he was clear, and I think he was catching himself. Hole number 4, 181 feet, and Devan just lacing it right where you want to be for a lefty.
Oh, that is so pretty and much more of a technical line. I wouldn't even say that actually. It's a little bit more of a technical line than the righty backhand, but the righty backhand stall hyzer is also really technical as well. Ben, yeah, that's funny.
Not gonna lie, he had me totally faked out. If you really watch that in slow-mo, you see it pretty much dropped immediately, but he had me on the play fake there for sure.
That's funny. That looks extremely good for me. Honestly, that's probably the best I've ever thrown this hole. Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, there's an OB wall that in 2019 there, and it looked like you went just beyond it, if I captured that correctly.
Oh, yeah, I definitely hopped right over it. And, okay, Seppo, maybe a little bit higher, a little better correction on what I was trying to do. Yeah.
You probably don't even have to boost.
This is a really good hole, though, Terry. It really, like, tests your angle control and height control, because if you go too far, if you saw it off and go too far left, you're going to be OB as well, fighting for your par, you know. Okay, this is, yeah, I've been in this spot before, that's for sure.
little frustration as you aren't going to convert on that one. I'm not sure how official "aren't" is a word, but you did that. Devan kind of sticking with the theme. He's had 2 putts that went in and now 2 that were low. We'll see if we can see some corrections. And you said it, Ben is just so smooth.
Yeah, it's good to see him find that stroke right about now. And I'd like to see Seppo make this as well. This is definitely like a tougher putt than everybody might imagine. Well done, Seppo. See, that was the stroke and he's happy. He's like, that's how it's done. Let's do that again, because he's going to keep putting himself close to the basket. There's no doubt.
And you unfortunately don't get up and down, so you're going to walk away with a bogey. And that puts you at 1 over for the round. Meanwhile, as I said, Devan is 2 under for the round. All 4 of you, this should be easy math for us all day. All 4 of you started at 17 under overall. Here's hole 5.
Yeah, hole 5, pretty straightforward. The only danger that I would say is that Mando tree on your right side protecting big spike hyzers, which is really good. You know, we don't need any more huge spike hyzers out here. We already started off with a few. So this is more of your technical straight shot. It's right at the edge of most people's putter distance. So you'll see a lot of people throw mid-range on this shot. Seppo actually throwing an A2, and that is an incredibly straight A2 if you've ever thrown one.
And Devan's going to take it out, possibly even over the OB path over there, playing it. That's deep, and now there's not many trees here, but with that elevated basket, it feels like the few trees that are near the basket always are in your way.
Yeah, they come into play big time, especially if you go long. I think I think he's going to be okay. I feel like the one on the right makes some more trouble usually, but we will see. This is a hole you really want to be close on as well because of the elevated pin. I think I'm going putter here. It looks like a PA2. It's perfect for my putter distance. If I throw it as hard as I can, it goes about basket high, and I don't go long and then contest with those trees like we're seeing Seppo do. This is an impossible putt almost.
Like you said, he is long and left. Oh, so close.
Wow.
Great run by Seppo.
Let's go, Ben. Yeah, I love that he's showing this off right now. It's so normal for him.
And Devan really not in a bad spot. I mean, of course, that tree comes into play, but he's so close and yet so close to the basket that the low-hanging branches of the tree aren't going to affect him nearly as much.
That's right.
As we saw from Seppo.
All right.
Another solid putting stroke, so Devan picks up his 3rd birdie of the round.
Yeah, I'm definitely bending my arm more than I like to do. It's funny that I'm noticing that.
And a par for Seppo. All right, we're going to move over to hole number 6. One of the par 4s that we found out in this course.
Yeah, so hole 6 is an awesome hole. It takes a really well-positioned drive to be able to attack for birdie. And if you're attacking for birdie, there's a lot of OB up there as well that you have to play really like well-weighted shot in order to stay in bounds and be close to the basket. There's a bunch of flare because the grass is so short and dry that you're going to have a bunch of skipping action. So you have to play a lot of ground play. This is really making me miss Devan. We haven't seen Devan out on tour this year. And he's one of my idols growing into the game. He's from really close to where I'm from, Tulsa, Oklahoma, only a couple hours away, and I always looked up to him big time whenever I was growing into the sport.
Yeah, he certainly has been one of those guys out there grinding for a lot of years. We'll see if that stays in bounds. It does. There is OB that can come into the play on the right-hand side here. I think we might even get an update from Devan here in a moment. So a little spoiler alert, folks. He's got an inside comment or two coming up in the next few moments. What are you throwing here on this tee shot?
This is an H3V2, so it's a fairway driver. That's definitely one of my weaker shots as far as the percentage of me executing it. I think in 2020 I actually opted for a hyzer line that I have a lot more success with. This is a very common play as well, but it takes a really disciplined roller in order to stay in bounds. And that it is.
Beautiful shot there by Seppo, keeping it in bounds. You're throwing your second shot.
So when you hit the tree that I hit, you can't, there's no way that you're going to get a birdie from there. What am I thinking?
Here's Devan.
Parked right there. Devan, this place bring back memories. What happened? This is where I broke my leg in 2014. I was parked right there where the
I know
GMC
it.
is.
Yeah, okay.
Took like 3 or 4 steps and slipped on that gravel and broke my leg. 9 screws and 2 plates.
Oh. And Devan giving everybody the update why we didn't see him for quite some time on the tour. He was talking about how he broke his leg over in that very spot when him and Dave Felberg and a few others, Ricky Wysocki, all lived right off of this hole. And now Devan, to finish up your story, he's kind of moving in, well, not just moving in, but also has found a lady friend. I believe he's engaged here in 2020 and is just focusing on a few other things outside of disc golf right now. So hopefully we'll see him back out on the tour.
Yeah, I hope so. But you're right. He's settling down nicely.
And Seppo, after a great roller, I mean, this gives him all the options in the world, and he's going to go big, high hyzer, and kind of tough to see where that one landed, but I think he's on the green. And you're probably trying to keep your emotions in check. You threw your second shot out of bounds, and you just want to get up and down and get out of here before you have a real long walk on the next hole.
That's so true. That walk can be so painful sometimes, and it's been way more painful than not painful as far as I can remember. Because this hole's really difficult. It's gotten me real good a few times. What I should have just laid up there, thrown a sidearm, and then thrown a putter and take my par.
And that just creeps in for Seppo. This comes in averaging 4.15 as the 7th most difficult hole on the course. Exactly 50% of the field taking pars. Nice. Devan keeping things rolling here.
Yep. I love Devan's putting style.
I think it's fair to say by the time you're taking this walk on 7 or over to 7, you're trying to be at least 3, if not 4 under, maybe even 5 out of the first 6. You're trying to get all of you, aren't you?
Yeah, 5 under would be awesome. You'd be on cloud 9 walking to the next hole. I'd say 3 under would be solid. You'd be in a good mental state and then ready to attack a really birdieable hole right here.
Yeah, after a very lengthy walk, 645 feet. How much are you trying to bite off on this relatively short par 4?
Well, that depends on how angry you are.
Perfect. Okay, that makes sense, because there's a sidewalk up here, which in 2020, spoiler alert, we saw a few of the top guns get near. That's just a massive crush. That's over 500 feet. But
we did?
Yeah, there were a few that pushed the right side of that sidewalk in 2020. Let's see what you guys pull off here. It doesn't set up real well for Devan here, does it? I mean,
not entirely, but it's still. Yeah, actually, it's pretty difficult for him. Takes some good angle control, but still, it's so short that it's plenty attackable for him. He should be getting a birdie every time. Ooh, that's
What's Seppo throwing?
Really pretty D2. That's a great angle. He's going to be probably pushing that sidewalk if I would imagine. That's bombed.
Huge pull by Seppo. You see the marker there saying that there's 400 feet left to the pin. That was a new addition that we saw throughout 2019, actually.
Nice shot. Thanks. Where's the action?
Good shot from Ben right there. My game plan on this hole is just to throw a hyzer as hard as you can because the only danger on the hole is out to the right. So if you flip it too much, that's when you're bringing in trouble. And what do you know? I'm bringing in trouble.
Dude, I'm glad I didn't lose it, but shit.
Yeah, you were saying you're glad you didn't lose it in terms of losing the disc in the water, but you've got to be a little frustrated at this point.
Yeah, that's a really, really bad mistake for me to do right there. This hole is just not that hard. All you have to do is get it inbounds, and you're going to be able to birdie from anywhere in the fairway.
Devin just a bit short. Ben's got, what, an overstable mid of sorts, making it look really easy.
Yeah, I don't know what he was throwing. Overstable mid, overstable putter, really well played, though. That's what you want to do. It's A2 here from Seppo. I think this is a little bit more overstable A2. Looks good.
Yeah, when you're able to bite off that much on the drive, you know, your approach should be, you know, cakewalk from there, and he definitely took advantage of it. You are trying to save your par.
All right.
Wow. Working hard for it, but you'll take it, right?
Yeah, that's definitely a big-time par save for me. Anytime you go be right over the path and you can save par is pretty impressive. I'll take that.
Devin's going to take a par. And as you guys continue to tap out, I want to thank all the sponsors and supporters that have been so gracious in helping with any of the bonus coverage that I've had. Also, the Disc Golf Pro Tour and Parsave Productions, who ultimately I think were in charge of the drone previews. So even though this is bonus footage in 2020, I want to say thanks to everyone that had any part of supporting what was going on here in 2019 when I was capturing it. So a couple of birdies, and tell me you love hole number 8. This is just gorgeous, isn't it?
Oh, hole number 8 is one of the better holes on the course, visually and the way that it plays. You're going to see people opting for anywhere from a straight putter to straight mid to straight fairway and even big spike hyzers.
Yeah, it affords you all the opportunities in the world. It's just really a matter of what kind of wind are you facing, and usually it's in your face. So I think that kind of dictates the stability of what people are going to be throwing with.
Yeah, I would agree. Distance control is key here. What did Seppo throw there? That was, I wonder if that was mid-range or, I think, putter. Yeah, it might have been a putter.
And now we were just talking about all the options. Ben goes just huge hyzer, and it sticks the landing.
Very effective.
Wow.
Come on, Dev. That is so good looking.
Just the whole way, it was on point, just tracking. And this is a mid or a putter from you?
That's going to be a putter. Putter's perfect for me because I throw it hard, and as long as I lace the line, I don't even have to lace the line, but if I lace the line, it's going to be parked. But it's always going to be inbounds somewhere is the key point. If you go out of bounds on this hole, you're automatically adding 1, if not 2 strokes to your score. So going OB on this hole is the worst thing that you can do.
And usually there's a nice gallery that kind of forms. There's kind of a collection point of 8's green, 9's tee, and then hole 12's green. They're all kind of in this little pocket. So there's usually a gallery around this right here.
All right, and back to even. That's always a great feeling. It's never fun to be over par.
Solid putt. So just a little wind there as Seppo's kind of collecting himself. Ooh, a little dancing on that right side enough just to make you hold your breath for a moment. Beautiful shot by Devan Owens, nets him the birdie. All right, one Simon Lizotte says that this is his favorite hole on the course, hole 9. What do you think?
Yeah, I would have to agree with him, and I know Paul thinks the same. Paul Macbeth believes the same thing. This hole is extremely good. The water is going to be way lower the year that we're watching right now than normal. Usually it's up to where you can imagine it being, and then it makes the hole extremely difficult. But even still, it's really hard, and you have to be really disciplined on your tee shot. Devin that's actually really surprising to me that he's doing that. But still, like, there's nothing wrong with laying up and taking a 3.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and by doing that, as you called it, you meant he was playing relatively conservative and not trying to bite off too much?
Yeah, exactly. I remember this same year that we're watching, Reed Friskiera would throw a big hyzer nuke and kind of even skip off the water and go onto the rocks that we're seeing, and he'd always have a putt for birdie. And it seemed like almost unfair, but a really, really effective way to play the hole. It's so important here that I get this disc past flat, meaning a little bit of anhyzer.
Yeah, there it is, the turn.
That's crucial for me. I've sawed this hole off countless times. It's crazy how many times I've sawed it off.
Yeah. And 482, slightly downhill. Not only do you need the raw power, but you have to have just the right amount of turnover so you're not finding the water's edge or flipping it too much like Seppo looks like he's doing and going OB over the path on the right side, which...
Yeah, that's headed there unless it hits a tree. But you're exactly right, Terry. That's what makes this hole so good is you have to be perfect with your angle.
Joel Freeman in the background after Seppo was out of bounds. He's going to be going to just drop it underneath. He's going to be looking at a bogey. And I'm just going to have to assume statistically, wow, that I'm shocked to see that this is the 8th most difficult hole on the course. That surprises me.
Yeah, I can see that actually, just because most people have the discipline to know, or I don't know if discipline's the right word, but they know that going for it just doesn't make sense for them. Either they don't have the power or it's just not high enough of a percentage for them to do it. Ah. Wanted that one bad.
Yeah, that's what I would most would consider a little bit of a bonus birdie. I misread my stats. 8% got below par on here, so it's the 4th most difficult, but still a little bit of a bonus, and you guys are going to clean up, and I think we're going to see and hear from you on the back 9 or round 3. How's that sound?
Sounds good, Terry.
All right, guys. Again, thank you to all of the supporters, all of you guys for watching, all my Patreon subscribers. This video wouldn't be possible without you guys. So let me know, do you think this hole 9 is your favorite on the course, or is there a different one? Leave it in the comments. That'll make you eligible to win a disc that I'll draw for in a few weeks. And here's how the entire field looks after they've played the front 9 through round 3. Simon Lizotte has a stroke over Eagle McMahon. We'll see you guys for round 3, back 9, Kevin Jones, in just a minute.